all you need to do.
Oh.
Well, it's worked. Alright, this time it's working.
Yeah, you got a picture.
Yeah, I know.
Send. Okay, so you copied the link. Gotta get the link.
What do you mean? It's already doing it. I don't need to. No. Welcome, team. Today we've had a roller coaster of emotions as we've had some interesting manipulation on a few markets and some really positive outcomes for cryptocurrency. Today I have a crypto bender with me. Yeah, only in
Let's go.
only in voice though, but that is more than fine. I'm going to show my face in just a sec. I have a feeling that I'm not going to show my face because I didn't have it set up prior.
Yeah, that's not a big deal, Daniel. That's fine.
But and we have Dee here in the background as well, chiming in there. So thank you, Dee. She's been helping me get everything set up. So I'm going to bring you straight to Elon Musk's page. As we've sort of, you could always we've always assumed that Elon Musk has had a healthy bag of Bitcoin. He's an avid supporter of the Doge meme coin within the cryptocurrency space.
But is that still true?
Yes, that is the question. That is definitely the question. And let's just check the comments. I just want to make sure my audio is nice and clear. Can anyone hear you? Oh, Cameron, can you let me know if you can hear me, mate?
Cameron, can you hear me?
Is now you can still a slice. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. I haven't spoken to you guys in a very long time. Thanks for joining us. These guys are friends of mine from some of my earlier gaming days within Rust. But thanks for joining us, guys. We now have you're about to get a bit of a taste of the cryptocurrency space. So we've just spoken about Elon Musk. We have another influencer as well. But before I go into him, I'll just sort of show you the chart. Right about here is when Elon Musk essentially updated his bio to symbolize Bitcoin and made a quick tweet saying, in retrospect, it was inevitable. And for Bitcoin to pump from 32,000 and it sort of just had a peak there around the 37,000, and by no means is this pump finished. But what this sort of means to you right now is, the richest man in the world is literally just giving you the thumbs up to buy Bitcoin. That's how I'm going to read it. It's a bit crude, but that's what I'm going to see. That's how I'm going to see it. What are your thoughts, Dan?
Well, I mean, it's the start of a trend that was started by Michael Saylor. I mean, we have this insane kind of Bitcoin rally started off by Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy when they started investing into Bitcoin. They put a big portion of their balance sheet into Bitcoin, and it's kind of like what people have been saying about like new emerging marketplace or emerging markets and big technology. You never want to be first, but you don't want to be last. And Michael Saylor started off, and if this is like what's happening right now is what we think is happening, then Elon Musk can start putting a bunch of Tesla money into Bitcoin, and that is rocket fuel. Literal rocket fuel to get going again. It's going to break this trend, and we're going to skyrocket.
We are literally going to moon. And we all know that Elon Musk is all about the moon. So I just want to sort of show you some other interesting data today. We've had well, actually, first off, we'll stick to the mainstream stuff. So, what does this actually mean? Like this, and it's sort of been a little bit nerfed within 2020. Mass adoption has essentially been, or the gates preventing mass adoption has literally opened up as of last year. And we didn't see much of it because the news was very focused on, the old, I won't say the word, but the pandemic. And what we've seen is slowly regulation becoming common in countries. We've had the US recently allowing banks to now hold cryptocurrency, although we haven't seen them do it yet. We've had a lot of cryptocurrency cryptocurrency focused companies become banks within the US because the services weren't quite there. We've had PayPal come on board, and now you can buy Bitcoin and some of the altcoins with your PayPal account. We've had MicroStrategy, which Dan has sort of spoken about. We've had the IMF and a lot of the countries out there that are sort of developing these their own sort of digital currencies, which is sort of pegged to their own sort of fiat currency right now. But what this sort of means is that it's not necessarily developing a cryptocurrency that's going to move. What this means is that it's going to be easier for you to transact from your regular the currency that you earn at your job, and then trade it for all these cryptocurrencies that have been around for a while that are going to go up. We also have the International Monetary Fund looking at developing a world currency, which would be very interesting to sort of see in the next few years. What are your thoughts, Dan, on mass adoption for 2020 and what's to come for 2021?
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to predict exactly the rate at which we are accelerating towards mass adoption it's kind of crazily high. There was definitely a bit of a kind of a pullback on the brakes after the giant kind of almost imitating of a blow up top. So we've gone from like 42,000, almost 42,000, and we bounced it down to under 30K like not even a week ago. But it's this giant price action that's attracting attention, and there are more and more mainstream media outlets and investment firms and big technology companies that are starting to look at Bitcoin as like a real thing. And with Bitcoin, we're going to move down the market cap into other areas of cryptocurrency and blockchain, where we have more innovative tech and crazier solutions for decentralized everything.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself, mate. Just while we're here and we've starting to get a few people sort of watching, feel free to, if you're new to cryptocurrency and new to Adapt Crypto, we have these communities that we have set up, and I'll just sort of show you. We have a absolutely free chat that you can sort of discuss some of your crypto trades potentially. And it's Telegram. So if you have a Telegram application, which is free, you can join our Telegram at Adapt Crypto. And here you could just, if you have noob questions, if you want to know what Ethereum is, then feel free to drop a question. You might get a few lols, but we have a community that's very supportive of new members as well. So don't feel like you're out of your depth, and feel free to just socialize and get to know the space at a pace that you appreciate. We also have a Discord. Feel free to give us a like and a subscribe, and just support what we do, and we'll keep you guys informed live as best we can. Sorry, Dan, you're coming a little distorted there. Say again.
How's my...
You're cutting out just a little bit. Yeah, that's heaps better, man. That's heaps better. What were you saying, mate?
I was just trying to make sure the audio is working. The chats are saying that I'm super quiet.
I'm sure. So what I've done is I've turned you up to make sure your voice comes through as well.
I was using the wrong microphone.
Yeah. So I'll just sort of focus in a little bit on the Bitcoin chart here. This move, and admittedly, this is only on the 1 minute here, but I am expecting this as the Americans are waking up, and we'll see, and this will keep going because all the media outlets are going to start talking about Elon Musk's openly coming out about Bitcoin. It's, cryptocurrency is where, sexuality was a few years ago, where it's all about coming out of the closet with about your currency. That's where Elon is at the moment. And
you can see the headlines now. Elon Musk comes out as a crypto head.
Yeah, potentially. That'd be funny. But yeah, cryptocurrency space is absolutely crazy, and I'll just sort of show you some trades that that we sort of made today. It's quite interesting, and one guy made 20 ETH today. Now, I'll let you do the maths on how much 20 ETH is, and he made this in the space of about, what was it? He made this in the space of about 30 minutes roughly, give or take some. And I'll just bring up the chart here. I'm sorry, I'm sort of lagging here. This is not a very good chart. What I will do is, sorry, give me 1 sec. I'll bring up Dex tools because we know how reliable these charts are. But I'll sort of show you. And admittedly, this was, whether or not this will sort of keep moving, this is the problem when you have, markets that are determined by, demand and supply. And unfortunately, it's just something that's sort of, it's not when you see these big spikes, it's not necessarily sustainable. And it's the same with, stocks itself. But luckily we caught a wind of another potential trade. We got in, I think a lot of us got in pretty much straight after, around the 60 to 70 cents mark. And then we rode this. We got out at various points here. But, some people made a cheeky 2x in the space of 30 minutes. And that's just the crazy nature of cryptocurrencies itself. And it's just it's a very crazy space.
I mean, this is one of the things that people point to as far as cryptocurrency goes, in regards to why it's not going to be useful as an asset. It's not going to be useful as money. It's so volatile. I mean, you take a look at this thing, Trust Swap, down on your chart. I see it at a little under 60 cents earlier today. Popped up to well over $1. This thing went over all-time highs in what is this time frame? Not even an hour, and it's already back down under. It retraced 50%. It's kind of doing that bouncing thing right now, but if your traditional, your assets are going to be this volatile, I mean, you can see why a lot of people wouldn't want to put their faith in them as an early stage.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And it's important to never FOMO into these things. But here is another example: Dogecoin, one of the ultimate meme coins. I'll see if I can get I know there's some newbies here that probably don't understand too well what the BTC pair is, but I've got here Dogecoin less than 1 cent US, right? It pumps up to, well, it's got a peak here, and I think it actually went a little bit higher, but that went up to 7 cents. Let me just see if there's a better chart here that I could use. Maybe let's go Binance. Let's go Binance to Tether. So on Binance here, yep, so there it is, less than 1 cent, and in a day it went up to just under 9 cents. 9 cents, which is crazy. That's what's that? That's a 9x, Dan, approximately, give or take.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and that's less than a day. What's that? That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's just absolutely incredible. And if you aren't in this space, it can be very heartbreaking. However, it's a crazy space, and and it does have the potential to do a lot if you know how to manage it. And I don't recommend anyone just dump jump in and throw some money at a cryptocurrency that sounds good or seems cheap by any means. What I do recommend is you start to do your research and you start to get in these communities that are discussing this every single day. We have a lot of people reacting to this. Bitcoin is going to keep moving over the next. I don't know. I reckon this is probably gonna be the catalyst for Bitcoin going up to or breaking recent all-time highs. This is going to go absolutely bananas. Dan, if you could put a number on this pump, what would you bring it at? What would you call it?
So if we're talking just on Bitcoin, I mean, with this amount of momentum going into it, we could very reasonably see a break of all-time highs. And the most recent all-time high I was trying to find it before, around the $42,000 mark. Let's see what we got here. Zoom out on my chart. That probably would help if I zoomed off of the 15 minutes here. So, gotta zoom out even further. Alright, cool. So we have an all-time high, a wick at just under $42,000. I'm showing $41,980 on Coinbase. So that was, let's see, we have a date here at January 8th. So that was the most recent peak, and we're charging back up. There's so much momentum going in here. Yeah, if we go on to the 1 hour, let's go with the 4 hour actually. It's all just one enormous green candle. Yeah. I was gonna say something bad, but I don't want to get censored and taken down. But yeah, this is insane. I mean, you guys don't have my video, but if you go on to the 4 hour chart for Coinbase on TradingView, we have a little wick down at $32,000, and you see the various insanity on Twitter throughout kind of the course of the day because of what was happening throughout the U.S. financial world. And Elon changes his Twitter bio to a Bitcoin symbol, and we have this enormous green candle from a bottom wick of $32,000, just about, 32,053. And it's currently trying to break up. It's at 37,480. We are looking at over $5,000 candle, not even closed yet. It could go up, it could go down. It'll definitely do one of those two things. So if I say both, I'm definitely right. You heard it here first.
Well, you're not wrong.
I just kind of want to give a little bit of context for why this move may have happened. If you guys have been following along with what's happening in the United States right now, you may have, kind of tangentially heard of it from, Dogecoin pumping ridiculously hard today. But this actually started off in a little corner of the internet called Reddit. If you guys aren't familiar with Reddit, it is a social media platform. Not like Twitter, but kind of like Twitter, but it has a subreddit. It's basically a board where people post and discuss topics, and that one is called Wall Street Bets. It's basically to discuss stocks, options, trading, that kind of thing. Someone on Wall Street Bets, the Reddit subreddit, discovered that a lot of big hedge funds and institutional investors had been shorting the public stock of GameStop. If you guys aren't from the US and you haven't heard of GameStop, it is a brick and mortar game store in the United States, which you can imagine in COVID times has been doing pretty poorly. So this thing was sitting maybe $10. I don't really follow the history of GameStop, but it was such a safe bet to short that we have so many investors, big institutions, that were making money off of shorting it. And then the person on Wall Street Bets found out that we had billions of dollars in liquidity shorting GameStop, and they decided that they were going to essentially wreck the institutional investors, wreck the billionaire funds by pumping GameStop to oblivion. I'm not sure if you're there, but if you guys want to pull up TradingView or GameStop or whatever else, Robinhood, Oh, that's an important part. I'm sorry. I missed out on that part. One really big piece of this is Robinhood. Robinhood is an app that lets you trade stocks and equities and options, whatever else, from a mobile app. And that means that we have, the little guys, these tiny retail guys that can trade in stocks on their own. Right, that's how they're able to do this. They don't have to go through a brokerage firm. They don't have to go through big institutions, whatever else you use to do it the traditional way. You can just invest in the stock from the privacy of your own home. So we have the entire subreddit of Wall Street Bets performing what's called a short squeeze on the institutions that are betting that GameStop is going to continue going down. And then if you are able to pull up GameStop on your trading view, you can just show them that the GameStop stock went from whatever it was at its low, $10, $20, wherever it was. In a matter of days, it went all the way up and peaked around $460.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
That's it.
I've got the chart up there. So you can see here, and I'm pretty sure this is a stock that the protagonist from the Big Short movie, I apologize, I don't remember his name, but I actually remember reading that he invested a large sum early in 2020 or around mid 2020 into this stock. So, which is interesting. I don't think he could have predicted what happened recently. However, I imagine he'd be quite comfortable. And that's the chart there that you were sort of describing there, Dan. And you can see there's quite the pump. There's a gap here because the price moved so quickly that it didn't quite record the data. And then you can see there it went up to around about 480, 484, and then come back down and then come back up. There's a bit of to and fro right there.
Yep.
So sorry, Dan.
Do you mind if I kind of explain?
Yeah, keep going, mate. Keep going.
All right, cool. So when you have a short, that's an option where you essentially agree to buy back an asset at a set price because you're betting that that asset is going to go down. So say, for example, I say, hey, I'm going to give you my my phone for like $1,000 this year. And in a year, you're going to give me back the phone and I will give you $1,000. And in a year, if the price, the value of that phone goes down, then I've given you an asset worth less money than what I'm going to be getting back, or vice versa, because I've given you the asset. So in that situation, you've made money because the value that you have traded back to me is worth less than what you get back in return. So that's the options trade. I think Harry would probably be a better person to explain shorts and longs, but that's kind of like the hard example asset of a short. And with options, you purchase like a lot of the stock all at once. So you have like, say 10 stocks and these are worth like $20 at the bottom there, and you're betting that all these are going to go down in value. So when you exchange the stocks back for the $20 and it's worth $10, then you made essentially double what you had before times however many options that you had. But if it goes back up in the opposite direction, then you pay more and more money per asset that it goes up, and it's going to be for every single one times the amount of options that you bought. So if you're shorting this asset and it goes from $20 up to $480, then it's going to absolutely wreck you because you are going to end up owing so much money because every single option you purchase is going to just stack and stack and stack on that price difference. And what's called the short squeeze is you have to buy back the asset to exit that position. So that giant candle, the huge wick up,
That's
from
going.
institutions exiting their position. and buying it, which just pushes the price up higher.
Absolutely crazy.
And what that all led to was eventually we have Robinhood getting pressure from their backers and their institutions, whoever is supporting them, putting pressure on Robinhood to shut down trading on Robinhood of GameStop. And what is that called, guys?
Manipulation.
Manipulation. Manipulation at the highest level, that's straight up censorship. And that's not something that you would get in a decentralized ecosystem like cryptocurrency, for example.
For those who don't quite understand, what that means is if you wanted to sell something whenever you want to, and they tell you, they're essentially telling you, no, you can't. You'll sell when I say so. And it's most likely going to be the time that you don't want to sell, and you've potentially lost potential gains, essentially. Sorry, Dan, keep going, mate.
Yep. So you've lost all those gains because you're not allowed to buy the asset. And I'm sorry, yeah, you're not allowed to buy the asset. You can't keep pushing the price up. You have this giant Wall Street army, Wall Street Bets army from Reddit pushing up the price, and everyone that gets in it is just going to continue to push up the price, and everyone in it is going to continue making money while these big institutions lose money. So big institutions didn't like that. Wall Street didn't like that. They forced Robinhood to shut down trading on that asset. Now, that's something that we don't like here in the cryptocurrency space. It's something that we try to actively discourage because it's just straight up unfair. How do the little retail guys compete? I mean, if you go to Twitter and you search Robinhood, search GameStop, search AMC, like all these big stocks, these publicly traded stocks that big institutions are shorting because, oh, they seem like such sure bets. I mean, they halted trading on these because they don't want the little guys to be making the money. They want to continue circling liquidity, keep adding more and more, and making that class difference wider and wider. And with all that happening, there's been such a ridiculous outcry, so much media attention. We have like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We have even mainstream media personalities like Jon Stewart. They're all taking to Twitter and just voicing their opinions. And the one thing that we are seeing unanimously in our corner of the internet is that they are not happy about it. So many people are just going hard on Robinhood. This is manipulation. This is straight up, what's the word I'm looking for? Corruption.
Yeah.
And when you have corruption, you can't trust whatever central institution is control of your finance. So what better way to get around it than go to blockchain?
Change the monetary system, essentially. And some really good points there, Dan. I don't, from what I've sort of gathered from my research, is that the stock market has never been in favor of the mums and dads who want to invest and potentially make money, but yet we hear about the stocks and how it makes all these institutions and very wealthy people get wealthier. And to sort of highlight the point that Dan made, what this sort of means is that gap is going to keep increasing because the wealthier will get wealthier, but at the same time, what you're making in your regular job, your main income stream, getting paid by the man while you make them rich, is losing value, and it's been losing value ever since it was created. And a good example of that is, and you'll hear this from your grandparents, they were buying land when it was a house and a good block of land for about $1,000. Now, these days, you're lucky to buy a house for $1 million within any sort of major capital city. And it just keeps getting worse and worse, right? And it's not necessarily, houses and land is becoming more scarce, right? But at the same time, fiat currency, your regular dollar is still going down. and it just makes us gap. And for those who are, not sure what I'm talking about, you think about maybe you've been buying Coke for a little while, and back then I remember when I was a kid, a bottle of Coke. I remember being absolutely devastated when Coke went over $1.50. Now I'd be lucky to get a bottle of Coke for lucky to get it for $5 essentially. I'm saying cold out of the fridge. I know you can buy them in bulk at at your local Walmart or Costco, but this is the change that's happening. And people just don't realize, nobody, you don't get this sort of education while you're at school or in high school or at uni. This sort of education is your own, and if you don't get taught this stuff, then you die poor essentially. Well, whatever you define as poor, I won't go into that sort of debate, but the more people that we can sort of teach this sort of information, the more informed that you guys can be, and potentially the better lifestyle you could potentially give yourself and your family. And cryptocurrency is one form. I'm not going to say it's the only way to get financial freedom. I'd be stupid to say that, but it is one instance of you being able to achieve that. It's it is the key that you need to unlock your financial freedom, potentially one of many doors, that is. But the more you can educate, you can never educate yourself too much. I will just give you an update on Elon Musk's tweet here. He's got 110,000 likes in less than an hour, and that's not, for social media platforms it's not big, but for Twitter I'm pretty sure that's quite big. It's just crazy. Dan, back to you, mate.
Yeah, I mean, if we go on to Elon here, I mean, the reason that this is so big for so long is, well, why it's been so anticipated, why everyone is going absolutely crazy about Elon Musk tweeting about Bitcoin, is because he's kind of been teasing at it for a while. There's a lot of speculation that he's involved. There are some joke memes about Elon Musk being Satoshi Nakamoto. There's some joke memes about him being behind like Energy Web token just because of its link to like battery technology. I mean, there's so many people that are trying to get Elon Musk involved with cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, yada, 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 whatever else in blockchain. And for so long, he's kind of just resisted being a part of it. It's because we're speculating that he doesn't want to be a part of it yet because it's not socially safe for him as the face of Tesla to be, essentially bullish on blockchain and bullish on Bitcoin. It would be, just a gigantic risk since he's the big head of the company, big head of this multi-billion-dollar company, publicly traded stock that could affect share prices, and he doesn't want to be, putting that much risk on his company and therefore affecting his stock prices. But with everything that's been going on, even throughout the past couple of years, whenever someone brings up Bitcoin to him, he goes with the safest possible, outlet to talk about it, and that's been Dogecoin. Dogecoin, memes on the fly, just tweeting about Dogecoin. And he did actually tweet Dogecoin earlier today, and our friends over at Wall Street Bets took to Twitter to start pumping the heck out of Dogecoin. I mean, you guys may have seen it. I'm sure some of you have heard about it. But Dogecoin went from like maybe $1 billion market cap. I don't even remember. It's been such an insane day, but it slingshotted so many places up the cryptocurrency market cap ratings, and it landed itself firmly in spot 6. It bypassed Bitcoin Cash, like these long tenured cryptocurrencies, long-term projects that people have heard for so long, like Litecoin, like Chainlink. Oh my gosh, this thing went on an absolute tear. And the funny thing, if you guys don't know about Dogecoin, is it doesn't do anything. It is purely for the memes. People bought billions and billions of dollars of Dogecoin just because of essentially Wall Street Bets and Elon Musk. And so we see this ridiculous influence that, people in places of high attention and influence have on markets, what happens if Bitcoin goes with the trend that we've been seeing? What if Elon Musk starts talking about Bitcoin all the time? What if he starts investing into Bitcoin? And we touched on it earlier, but Michael Saylor was the first to kind of start kicking off this leg of the parabolic bull run, started investing portions of MicroStrategy's balance sheet into Bitcoin because he thinks it is a better store of value than the US dollar. And, the markets seem to have agreed with him. His stock prices have skyrocketed. I mean, his initial buy-in, I believe, with the thousands of Bitcoin that he's holding now, he's holding around $1.5 billion straight up in Bitcoin. And, he was the first one to publicly do so. And that's just the start. What if Elon Musk starts doing it? He's got even more capital. If he starts buying a Bitcoin and he's this gigantic public figurehead, that kind of starts making it okay for other institutions to do so as well. And you'll just get more and more institutions FOMOing to Bitcoin, just buying and buying and buying. And we're already on a supply shortage of Bitcoin. It's going to send this thing straight up. We are looking at straight up to Jupiter. There we go. Thank you, Gary.
Just a bit of live TA for you guys. There will be now. I know the price isn't currently there. However, we've now begun this trend. First stop is the moon, courtesy of SpaceX, and then we have Jupiter shortly after. So Jupiter is the price target that our local technical analysis specialist, or known as Trade Sharp or Harry in the Telegram. This is his end of 2021 sort of target before we sort of potentially see some sort of reversal. However, you might not be right, but he might be. He's been right for the last 3 or 4 months, so why stop now, right? But there you have it, guys. Jupiter and Adapt Crypto's sort of price target for 2021 for Bitcoin. I welcome your thoughts in the comments in the chat. Sorry, guys. Apparently it's Mars, so I'll have to update this at a later stage. But if you have any requests, we could talk a little bit about some of the alts, or if anyone wants to talk about some social media or some of the controversial manipulation that we've seen in some of these markets, feel free to drop a comment and we'll discuss it. I'll give you a few minutes there while I sort of keep talking coherently, hopefully. While you have a think about what you want to talk about, I know I've said this before, but I highly recommend that you get in the Telegram. Just get familiar with the group that we have here. You have a very complex array of members here who, with all different perspectives from all different parts of the world, who love cryptocurrency and at all levels too. So if you're a complete novice, please feel free to jump in, and you can just be a lurker in the background for all I care. But as long as you're getting some sort of education of cryptocurrency and this space, because before you know it, it'll be in your face regardless. So please join us, get amongst it. We have I love this. Hope you didn't go short on Doge yesterday, buddy. No, mate, I definitely didn't short Doge yesterday. Otherwise, I don't know where I'd be. I'm not going to joke about my emotions in trading. But no, I'm glad I didn't short Doge. Are there any other requests from the group? And Dan, do you want to talk a little bit there?
I just want to say, first off, I would love if we could put the icon of Elon Musk and just have his finger line up with the astronaut's hand right there. You get a little bit of the biblical there.
Yeah,
nice little artwork. That'd be so funny.
It would be. I can't do that myself, but
I'm sure we have someone quite talented on the team who can probably help with that at some point. But yeah, if you guys if you saw when Gideon was on the Bitcoin price chart, he had his Jupiter target. I think it was around like what? Was that around like 160,000?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that aren't used to dealing in cryptocurrency might think that as a totally outlandish target, but I don't think so. And it's kind of difficult to explain why if you aren't familiar with the size of traditional financial markets. There is a great kind of visual demonstration on the internet. If you Google like how big is let's say the market cap of gold, how big is the market cap of the US dollar, and it brings up this graphic of a bunch of squares which represent the size of an asset. And
do you want me to bring that up? What was it called?
yeah, maybe for our viewers, just see.
What's it called?
No, not on TradingView. Let's go. What is the market cap of gold? Let's see if that comes up with it.
Give me 1 sec. Market cap of gold. Say with crypto and stocks like GME. Just now tuning in. So we've just had a comment here. While you have a look, Dan, flick me a link. Owens here has just asked a quick prediction on what happens today with crypto and stocks like GME. Just tuning in now. Thanks, mate, for tuning in. I hope you get amongst the community that we have, because we have lots of people that can answer these sort of questions. It's difficult to give predictions, but what I would recommend is that you get, if you are considering cryptocurrencies, possibly consider the cryptocurrency, the cycle that it has, and you'll see there historically Bitcoin went from, you know, like a few $100s up to $20,000 in a short period of time, and then it come back down, and essentially this run is meant to be a lot higher than the all-time highs in 2017, and it has already breached it. And you know, usually you'll see these 30% dips, give or take. That's what we've seen with Bitcoin recently. It was way too unsustainable for it to maintain that. So, you know, it's a very interesting space, and I don't blame a lot of people who thinks cryptocurrencies from first glance as a scam, right? Because it's just crazy. Yeah, for me, back before I got into cryptocurrency, 10% on my stock portfolio was amazing. Now 10% is disappointing in the cryptocurrency space. So what I'm trying to get to is, you know, while waffling, is that there's a lot of potential in cryptocurrencies, and the world needs cryptocurrencies. Yeah, as to which cryptocurrencies I can't really tell you, but they need cryptocurrencies sooner rather than later, because like we mentioned earlier, your fiat currency is worth less and less every day. Every time they turn on the printer to print more money, it's worth that little bit less. Soon you'll need to take out a mortgage to get a loaf of bread. But yeah, we'll see. Whereas cryptocurrency, there's some out there that are scarce. They have a limited amount of supply. And when there's a limited amount of supply and a demand that overwhelms that supply, that's when you see price go up, and that's what we're seeing with Bitcoin. You know, and I feel like I'm sort of, you know, I wouldn't say quite ranting, but I'm waffling on here. So, you know, I know you want a prediction. Our prediction for Bitcoin is around about 160 to 180,000. What that might look like in the future, you know, who knows?
Getting sorry to interrupt. I just flipped you that graphic I was talking about.
Yep. In Discord?
In Discord, yeah.
Yes, we've got it. Does this show Bitcoin as well? Because that would be very...
It does.
Awesome. All right, so we have silver. You talk to it, and I'll just scroll down with you, mate.
Okay, cool. So we have the size of the global financial market kind of visualized. So we have this one little square, this little black square. That is the size of the market share of silver, all of the silver that we know of. So that's $43.9 billion. We look at cryptocurrency. This was a little bit of an old graphic, but at the time it was 244 billion. Right now, Bitcoin alone is worth way more than that. We have military spending on the next row. We have, look at all those little black squares. If you scroll down a little bit, we have the next one underneath is the US budget deficit. That one, if you can look to the right, it's $3.8 trillion. So we have all these black squares. If you keep going down, we have currencies, we have the Fed's balance sheet, we have all the billionaires in the world all together, which is about $8 trillion. I mean, these are the entire sizes of global native currencies, like fiat currencies, the dollar, the euro, the yuan, whatever else, everything there. And you scroll down and you see gold. Keep going a little bit down.
Yep. Gold.
Oh, are you live? I'm getting a little lag, sorry.
Yeah.
So, there we go. So we have gold here. We have all these black squares and these gold squares. That is the size of gold's market cap. It's 10.9 trillion. Now, at the moment, Bitcoin is, where is it at?
It's total market $675 billion right now.
$675 billion. So if we think of gold being $10.9 trillion in market cap and Bitcoin only being at 600 billion, I mean, you tell me what the percentage of that is.
Yeah, that's almost like a 15x, give or take. Some quick maths.
Yeah, but like for everything that we've heard, for everything that we've researched, and what people are going to start to realize as we go forward is that Bitcoin is a better form of gold. It's digital gold. It does many things better than gold, it's viewed as the traditional store of value. People use it to preserve their wealth, and Bitcoin does it better. And if Bitcoin starts taking away or absorbing parts of the market share that gold currently has, then $600 billion in total market capitalization, it's a small number. And at the moment, it's what, $37,000. Yeah, but if we go up, let's say even 1%, or sorry, whatever we're talking about. So if it goes up to $1 trillion, then it's going to be floating around, like probably, I'm going to do some terrible math here. Let's say $50,000 just to be round.
Yep.
All right, so $50,000 if it absorbs 1/10 of gold's market share, and then you just keep going up and up. As people start to adopt Bitcoin as a replacement for gold, you could see it getting higher and higher fractional value, and then eventually equaling and surpassing the value of gold in the market share, which is going to put from here, it'd be a 4x. So that's like 2.5 times its current market cap, excuse me. And that would put it firmly at our Jupiter moon target of $160,000, $180,000 per Bitcoin. And that is insane.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. We've just had a few members here sort of ask, is it too late? From Sienna. Tuning in from the Cyber Cafe. I'm not, if you're talking about Bitcoin, these sort of things are difficult, because essentially you're asking me to give you the thumbs up to buy a cryptocurrency or buy Bitcoin. These things are difficult to suggest or recommend, because I don't want to make that sort of that recommendation to you. So what I will suggest is, with the data that you have in front of you and what Dan sort of just spoke to, is that Bitcoin is such a small share of this. This is out of date, but it's 675 billion, right? And even just for it to get 1% of gold, right, which is what all the institutions and the wealthiest people in the world are treating Bitcoin like, right? Because they're turning from gold, and now reports from this from some of the largest banks such as Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, all those sort of those institutions that are saying that investors are preferring Bitcoin over gold. Okay, and then these institutions generally will have a long-term, will see Bitcoin as a long-term asset. Now, whether, I can't guarantee anything that they won't just sell it, once they have their profit that they want to take. But what I will say is that it takes when these institutions invest large amounts of money, they can't just press the sell button like you and I and take profit, right? They have to time things properly. They have to have a plan as to how they do it, right? Because if they dump a large bag, right, the price will go from from what it is to potentially half because they did one big sell instantly, right? It's the same with shares. This is nothing new, but what I'm trying to say is that for them to maximize their gains, right, if they were to choose to sell, right, which it looks like they're going to hold for at least 5 to 10 years, they're going to have to trickle it, right? They're going to have to sell it little bits at a time to maximize those gains. That's from my own sort of research. I haven't spoken to a banker and he's told me that, but it just makes sense to me. So yeah, I don't think it's too late to get into Bitcoin. For altcoins, you really need to do your own research. You got a much more speculative asset that it can be very scary and can fluctuate and be volatile in price. I highly recommend you. Like, I know I'm sounding like I'm on a broken record here and I'm a constant shiller, but I highly recommend you get in the Telegram and just talk to the guys in here who love cryptocurrency. They literally talk and breathe and smell, and they love cryptocurrencies. So get in here and ask the questions. Say, hey guys, what do you think about this cryptocurrency? Some random YouTuber just told me about it. You can ask these sort of questions here, and more importantly, these guys, they don't shill their garbage like a lot of these other social media platforms. They give you honest opinions. They work with you to potentially say, hey, this cryptocurrency seems oversold or at least too cheap for what it should be right now, which might give you those potential buy opportunities. Now, you got to do your own research. There's no financial advisors in here. These are just other blokes, women, and what other non-binaries there are that are sort of just helping one another. But more importantly, there's what you could, if you're not very good at, if you don't want that sort of price predictions or advisements. There's a lot of people here that do constant research on these cryptocurrencies from a fundamental perspective, and that fundamental perspective does sort of definitely shapes the technical analysis and what it does in price. So feel free to sort of get in here and ask these questions and get to know cryptocurrencies.
There are no stupid questions, guys. No stupid questions. Come in, ask. We're always happy to help. Everyone in our Telegram is constantly helping each other. And I think the concept that we have in community is so perfectly demonstrated by what you saw earlier today or yesterday. This entire spotlight that's been created and shown onto the cryptocurrency world would not have happened unless you had this amazing, amazing community in Reddit, on Twitter, like everyone pushing the important information to the forefront so that we could all benefit from it. And we are here to help you get that information faster. We're here to share that information with as many people as possible, because at the end of the day, we are, I hate to say it, but we're the little guys. And if we're going to be able to survive in this emerging market against these gigantic legacy financial heads on Wall Street and wherever else, big banking, everything, we are going to need to stick together.
Yeah, well said, mate. Well said. We've got. I'm just having a look. We've had a few people now sort of quoting Elon Musk. No, that's probably not the most reputable sources, but Yahoo Finance has now just talked about Bitcoin after Elon Musk's bio change. It's going to be an interesting time, and I think this will potentially be the catalyst for Bitcoin's next move. And let's just see what happens from here. All right, I think we might end it there unless we're going to have any sort of more requests from the guys in the comments. Use Bitcoin's noise to buy the massive bargain basement ALBT dip. Possibly. If it's going to help me stack sats, I'm always looking for opportunities. I know there's a few people in our Telegram that absolutely love ALBT. I'm pretty sure. Is that one of Elio Trade's picks?
That
ALBT?
is.
Yeah, very popular. Very popular. All right, I'll leave it open for about a few more seconds. See if look at Doge. Don't tell me Doge is going back up.
Do we have a Head and Shoulders? Is that what it is?
I don't know. We'll have a look. I'll bring it up. And
Dogecoin.
Let's have a look.
Oh, did we say Aave?
Yeah, it's still going down.
From Johnny DiMaggio. So,
sorry, I'll just finish off this question from myself apparently. We highly recommend when you see these things in the news, and you've already seen it pump up, 9x. Do not FOMO in because it's not going to make another 9x. All right. So once you see it, these green candles, it's too late. Just look away and find the next opportunities. Sorry, Dan. Did you want to talk about Aave?
Well, I guess while we're on the chart here, it's a good point to make because if you saw this at like 2 cents, I mean, that might have been an okay place to get in, but where it started off was, 1 cent, 11 cents at the start of the day. And that would have been, if you got in here and it dropped all the way back down, you would have lost like half your money. But if you got in at like 4 cents and it went down, you would have lost 75% of your money. If you went all the way up to 8 cents and it started this giant price movement way back down, I mean, it's still going back down. You would lose an insane amount of money. And you see these things go up like insane amounts, they can correct and go back down just as hard, which is why you shouldn't be risking trying to catch these pumps because it's more than likely going to get you wrecked and you're going to lose money.
Yeah, we have a saying in our group, it's don't chase green candles, chase the red candles. And I think that's very good advice. Yes, there's a lot more to it. But if you just keep that in mind, never chase green candles, you're probably 1% of the way of building your trading knowledge at the very least. But never chase green candles. Someone mentioned Aave, so I'll quickly bring it up. Coinbase is probably...
And Aave is an incredibly good project.
Yeah, it is. It really
and it
is.
had its recent version 2 release. And it is one of the forefront cryptocurrencies in decentralized finance. And look at this thing. It is an absolute beast.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of data on this because it used to be Lend before it transitioned into just Aave itself. And I think they did a 10-to-1 or 100-to-1. I'm not 100% sure on that. And I know we have a few members that have had it for a very long time, and one of them said he had Aave. Well, he invested $9,000 into cryptocurrency in 2020, and his portfolio is now worth $150,000 as of a week ago. I spoke to him, and this is the caliber of members that we have in our Telegram. So. We've got varying ranges, varying strategies, and we have updates from Trade Sharp giving TA on Bitcoin and Ethereum daily, and it's free, guys, absolutely free. So yeah, I know I'll stop shilling the Telegram, but you know, if you want a better understanding rather than just gambling, essentially, then get in the Telegram, ask the questions, make use of the knowledge that we have here. But yeah, Abe, mate, Abe is been a high performer, Johnny, for a very long time, mate. So, you know, it's a coin that we definitely keep an eye on very regularly. In fact, I'm pretty sure only a few days ago, after Bitcoin had a scary sort of moment where everyone was expecting it to sort of head back down to 26,000, it went down to, or on Binance, it went down to 100. Oh no, that's correct. So it went down to $147. All right, and if you had a bought then, so that's only a few days ago, right? So that's only what, like a week ago. You know, you would have. That's a 2x right there. Yeah, and if you had sold it, this crazy week up here, obviously it's a bit more, but that's a 2x from today. And you know, yes, this stuff does happen in the stock market, but this regularly happens in cryptocurrency. So, yeah, I think we might just leave it there, guys. Before we cap this off, though, please do us a favor, join our community. We will guide you. We will assist you. We'll share our knowledge. So, and you can learn from the mistakes that we made, so you don't have to make them, and hopefully save you guys and potentially help you guys make a lot of money as well. But if you guys would like to support us, all we ask for is a cheeky like, maybe a comment. And you know, we'll do more of this stuff. I want to quit my job next year so that I can just do this for you guys daily. And that's not just me. We've got a whole team of people that want to do this for you guys. So if that's something that you guys want to support, just click the like button, subscribe, and we'll do this stuff more often. Dan, any last thoughts, mate?
Yeah, keep your eyes glued to Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, everything's going to be falling from there. Once we have this giant movement, things are going to start going crazy again. We might see the next leg start off pretty soon. Keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you're prepared. As always, be careful and make sure that you have a plan.
Absolutely, good advice. Alrighty, guys, thank you very much. I'll leave you to it. See you in the Telegram, and check out, stay tuned for our gem videos. There we do a lot of gem videos. Yes, it's a bit more riskier, so I don't recommend it for new people, but we find the cryptocurrencies at the earliest point of which you can buy them, so you can sort of work out what that sort of means. But anyway, guys, catch you later. Thank you for tuning in.